Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready to dive in.
Awesome. Today we're tackling Supabase.
Oh, Supabase is cool.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of buzz about it, so I'm excited to dig in.
It's been making waves for sure.
So, for our listeners who might be new to this, can you give us the elevator pitch for Supabase? What is it, and why should developers care?
Imagine building an app, and instead of needing like a bunch of different services for your backend, you have one platform that can basically do it all.
One platform. That sounds like a dream.
Right. It's like the ultimate toolbox for developers.
And this is where Supabase comes in.
Exactly. Supabase is this, well, think of it as this open source powerhouse.
Open source, so it's free to use.
Yeah. And it can go head to head with even those big names like Firebase.
Wow, that's a bold claim.
Yeah. And we've got tons of research, articles, you name it.
The whole 9 yards.
Exactly. We're ready to unlock the secrets of Supabase, what makes it so special.
I love it. So let's break it down. What are some of the key features that make Supabase stand out?
Okay, well, first off, it's not just about having all these tools in one place. It's about how well they actually work together. We're talking about databases, user authentication, file storage, everything you need.
That's a pretty impressive lineup.
Oh, and get this. What really sets Supabase apart is how it takes something as, well, potentially complex as a Postgres database.
Postgres, isn't that like a really powerful database?
Oh, incredibly powerful. But Supabase makes it so user-friendly, anyone can use it.
Seriously. I mean, I've dabbled with databases before, and they're not exactly known for their simplicity.
I hear you, but Supabase really changes the game. It's like they've cracked the code.
Okay, you've got my attention. Tell me more about this user-friendly Postgres situation.
So they have this thing called a table view.
Table view, yeah.
Yeah. And it lets you interact with your database like you would with a spreadsheet.
Well, hold on. I can manage my database like a spreadsheet.
Pretty much. It's all about lowering the barrier to entry, making it accessible to everyone.
That's a game changer.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a SQL expert, you can still build really powerful applications.
Okay, but what about the developers who are comfortable with SQL? Do they get left out in the cold?
Not at all. Supabase doesn't shy away from giving you full control. They've got a full SQL editor for those who want to craft those complex queries.
So it's the best of both worlds.
Exactly. User-friendly for beginners, but with the flexibility of SQL for the pros.
And you said they have automatic backups and real-time functionality too. It's starting to sound too good to be true.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. And wait until we get to authentication. That's where Supabase Auth really shines.
Okay, let's talk authentication. Because that's a critical piece of almost every app these days, right?
Absolutely essential. Think of Supabase Auth as the bouncer at the door of your application.
Okay, the bouncer. I like that analogy.
So Supabase Auth verifies who's trying to get in and makes sure only authorized users have access.
Right, so we're talking about making sure that users are who they say they are.
Exactly. That's authentication, but then there's authorization.
Oh, right. Is that about controlling what they can do once they're inside the app?
You got it. Supabase handles both authentication and authorization, offering a range of methods to fit any app's needs.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Well, you've got your standard email and password logins, but they also support things like magic links, those one-time passwords you get by text or email, even social logins using platforms like Google or Facebook.
So I could build an app where users can log in with their Google account.
Exactly. Makes things so much easier for everyone.
And smoother for users, too.
Yeah.
No one likes creating a new account for every single app.
For sure. And if you need extra security, Supabase even offers phone authentication.
Wow. So they've really thought of everything.
Yeah.
But with all this talk about user data, I have to ask, how does Supabase actually ensure that data is secure?
That's a great question. Security is paramount, right? So Supabase relies on JSON Web Tokens.
JSON Web Tokens. Is that like a secret code or something?
Kind of. They're industry standard tokens used for transmitting user information securely. And for authorization, they've integrated with Postgres's row-level security.
Row-level security. What's that?
It basically lets you define very specific permissions at the database level, controlling exactly what each user can see and do with your data.
So it's like having a security guard at every single door within your app.
Exactly. Making sure that no one gets into areas they shouldn't be in. And that's just the beginning. Supabase doesn't stop at databases and authentication.
Wait, there's more.
Oh, yeah. They've got this powerful storage solution called, well, fittingly, Supabase Storage.
Hold on. Let me get this straight. I can manage my database, handle user authentication, and now you're telling me I can store files too. all within Supabase.
You got it. Supabase storage is built to handle all kinds of files. Images, videos, documents, you name it. And it's not just about storage, it's about delivery too. They use a global CDN.
A CDN. What's a CDN?
It stands for Content Delivery Network. Basically, it means your files are served from data centers all around the world.
Ah, so no matter where your users are, they can access files quickly.
Precisely. Super fast loading times for everyone.
Okay, I'm seeing the pattern here. User-friendly, global reach, top-notch security. Supabase really seems to be checking all the boxes. But you mentioned something about a built-in image optimizer. I'm curious about that.
Oh yeah. Supabase storage doesn't just store your images, it actually optimizes them on the fly.
Optimizes them. What do you mean by that?
So it automatically resizes and compresses the images to fit different screen sizes and network speeds.
Ah, so it makes sure the images load quickly and efficiently on any device.
Exactly. Whether you're on a phone, a tablet, or a desktop computer.
This is amazing. So we've covered databases, authentication, storage. Is there anything else Supabase can do?
Buckle up, because we're about to enter the realm of edge functions.
Edge functions. That sounds intense.
It's actually pretty cool. Think of it as having your own code running closer to your users all over the globe.
My code running everywhere. That sounds both powerful and terrifying.
Don't worry, Supabase makes it surprisingly easy. And they chose this really neat technology called Dino as the runtime environment.
Dino. Tell me more about Dino.
Okay, so Dino is open source, designed with security and performance in mind. It's actually gaining a lot of traction among developers.
So what makes Dino so special?
Well, for one thing, it's built with TypeScript in mind.
TypeScript? Does that mean I have to learn a whole new language?
No. TypeScript adds this layer of type safety to JavaScript, which helps catch errors early on, makes your code more reliable.
Ah, so it's like having a safety net for your code.
Yeah.
I like that. But back to edge functions. What are some real-world examples of what I can do with them?
Oh, the possibilities are vast. Say you want to integrate your app with a service like Stripe for payments. An edge function can handle that communication without a hitch. Or, let's say you need to respond to webhooks from other apps. Edge functions are perfect for that.
Wow, so they're like these little helpers that can do all sorts of cool things behind the scenes.
Exactly. And you can even use them to build custom APIs for your application, or even tap into powerful machine learning models.
Machine learning. So we're talking about AI stuff now.
Oh yeah. Supabase is ready for the AI-powered world. But before we go there, you mentioned something about real-time magic earlier.
Oh yeah. Tell me, we're talking about real-time chat and collaborative features.
You read my mind. Supabase Realtime is designed for exactly that. It allows real-time communication between clients, opening up all sorts of possibilities for interactive applications.
Real-time chat, collaborative editing, multiplayer games. The possibilities seem endless.
They really are. Supabase is not just keeping up with the trends, they're helping to define them. And speaking of defining trends, we can't wrap up this part without at least mentioning AI and vector search.
Okay, hit me with it. How is Supabase embracing the AI revolution?
Well, they've embraced the power of vector embeddings.
Vector embeddings. Now, that sounds complicated.
It's actually a way to represent data, like text or images, as points in multidimensional space. This allows for powerful semantic search, where you find information based on meaning, not just keywords.
So it's like searching with your brain instead of just with a dictionary.
Exactly. And Supabase makes it happen through this clever integration with Postgres and an extension called PG Vector. They can efficiently store, index, and query these vector embeddings right within the database.
Wow, so Supabase is like this all-in-one platform for building modern AI-powered applications.
Exactly. And they even integrate with popular AI providers like OpenAI and Hugging Face, so you have access to cutting-edge machine learning models right within your Supabase projects.
Hold on, I need a moment to process all of this amazingness. From spreadsheet-like databases to globally distributed functions and AI-powered search, Supabase is like a developer's dream toolkit.
It really is. And we've only scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore. It is a lot to take in. But that's what's so exciting about Supabase. It's like this perfect blend of power and approachability.
I totally agree. It's not just about the individual features. It's how they all fit together, you know? Like they've created this unified ecosystem where every tool complements the others.
Yeah. It's like this integrated approach that really changes the game for developers. Streamlines everything, less complexity so you can focus on what matters. Building awesome applications.
Okay, I'm ready to dive back in. So far, we've covered those foundational elements of Supabase. Database, authentication, storage, edge functions. but I feel like there's more to uncover. Can we talk about some real-world use cases? Like, how do these features actually translate into real apps?
For sure. The Supabase community is super active, and they've created tons of examples and templates to get you started quickly. Like, say you're building an app that handles a lot of media, like images or videos. There are examples showing how to use Supabase storage for resumable uploads.
Resumable uploads. That sounds super helpful. What are those?
Okay, so imagine you're uploading this huge video file, right? And then boom, your internet connection drops.
Ugh, the worst.
Right, but with resumable uploads, you don't have to start the whole upload over again. Supabase storage just picks up right where it left off.
That's a lifesaver, especially for anyone who's ever had to deal with large file uploads. What other hidden gems can we find in these examples?
Let's go back to edge functions for a second. There's this whole repository dedicated to showing off how versatile they are. You'll find examples for connecting directly to your Postgres database from your edge functions, using libraries like Keisli for type-safe SQL queries, even integrating with monitoring tools like Sentry to keep an eye on your app's health.
Type-safe queries, you say? I'm all about writing clean, reliable code. Can you unpack that a bit?
Oh, type safety is like a developer's best friend, It helps catch those potential errors early on in the development process before they become major headaches. With a library like Keisli, you can write SQL queries that are checked for correctness at compile time.
So it's like having a safety net that prevents you from making those costly mistakes.
Exactly.
I'm sensing a theme here. Supabase really is all about making our lives easier as developers.
It's not just about having powerful tools, it's about making them a joy to use, right?
Right. So it's not just about the tech itself, it's about the experience.
Totally. And that philosophy extends to their documentation and support resources, too. Their docs are super comprehensive and well-written, cover every little thing about the platform. And if you ever get stuck, their community forum is an amazing resource, full of really helpful developers who are always happy to help.
Speaking of community, I'm always curious about those real-world projects. Companies using Supabase to build these innovative apps. Any inspiring stories come to mind?
Oh, for sure. There are tons of companies using Supabase. There's this one company, Berry AI. They help businesses build AI-powered apps. They were initially self-hosting their vector database on AWS RDS, but they ran into these scalability and performance issues. Switching to Supabase with PG Vector really simplified their whole setup and made them way more productive.
So Supabase isn't just for small projects. It can handle those serious enterprise-level workloads, too.
Oh, absolutely. It can scale with you. Another great example is Menable. They offer this AI-powered chat for searching through documentation. They were using Pinecone before for their vector embeddings, but decided to switch to Supabase. It just integrated better with Postgres and was more cost-effective with PG Vector. Ended up with this much more efficient and accurate search experience.
These stories really highlight how versatile Supabase is. It's a platform that can adapt to all these different use cases and scale as your needs change. And of course, we can't forget the beauty of open source.
Right. Supabase's commitment to transparency and community means the platform is always evolving and getting better. It's driven by this collective knowledge and contributions from devs all over the world.
That open source spirit is so powerful. You're not stuck in some proprietary ecosystem, You have the freedom to look under the hood, contribute your own improvements, even self-host the platform if you need to. It's about empowering developers and giving them control.
Exactly. That kind of control and customization is so valuable, especially for companies worried about data ownership and vendor lock-in.
Now, for anyone out there who might be thinking about switching to Supabase, say they're using a different backend service like Firebase, how easy is it to migrate?
Supabase has totally thought about that. They've got these really detailed migration guides specifically for transitioning from popular platforms like Firebase. They walk you through the process step by step, making the switch as painless as possible.
That's great to hear. Shows they're really serious about accessibility, no matter your background or what you're currently using.
It's not just about migrating your data, it's about embracing a whole new way of building and deploying apps. Supabase is kind of like a paradigm shift in back-end development, giving developers the power and flexibility to create these modern, scalable, secure applications without all the complexity.
I have the sound of that. Before we wrap up, what are your thoughts on the future of Supabase? Where do you see it heading?
Honestly, I think Supabase has the potential to be a major player in backend development. Their open source approach, their commitment to the developer experience, and their embrace of cutting-edge tech like AI and vector search make them a real force to be reckoned with.
I'm inclined to agree. Supabase is more than just a platform. It's like a community, a movement. It's a testament to what we can achieve with open source collaboration.
Well said. And for anyone listening who's intrigued by Supabase, definitely check out their website.
Yeah, their website is a great starting point. You'll find tons of documentation, tutorials, blog posts, and links to their community forum and social media. They also have these regular webinars and workshops, which are awesome opportunities to learn directly from the Supabase team and connect with other developers.
Don't forget their GitHub repository. That's where you can really dive into the Supabase world. Explore the source code, contribute your own improvements, get involved.
Contributing to open source projects is so rewarding. It's a chance to give back to the community, share your skills, and be part of something bigger.
They really are pushing the boundaries, you know? Like, it's amazing how they've created this platform that's so powerful, so feature-rich, yet it's still easy to grasp, even for, like, new developers.
It all comes back to that focus on the developer experience, right? Everything we've talked about, every feature, it's clear they've really thought about how developers actually use these tools. And speaking of making developers' lives easier, can we talk about the Supabase CLI? That command line interface. I feel like this is where the power users really come out to play.
Oh, absolutely. The CLI is it's like having this Swiss Army knife for Supabase development. Gives you direct control over your projects right from your terminal.
Okay, I'm all about efficiency.
Yeah.
So what can I actually do with this CLI? Can I manage my projects, create new databases, write and deploy code? All from the command line.
You can do all that and more. Manage projects, spin up new ones locally, connect to your remote Supabase instances. You can even run database migrations, play with your data, and deploy those edge functions we talked about, all without leaving your terminal.
Wow, so it's like having this direct connection to the heart of your Supabase projects. I can see why command line lovers would be thrilled. But what about folks who are more visually inclined? Does the CLI have any graphical tools or visualizations?
So the CLI itself is text-based, but it works seamlessly with the Supabase dashboard, which is their web-based interface. You can easily jump between the CLI and the dashboard, depending on what you're doing.
Ah, so it's all about choice and flexibility, giving developers the tools to work the way they want.
I love that.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit and talk about self-hosting. This is a big one for organizations that need ultimate control over their data and their infrastructure. What does Supabase offer for those who want to self-host?
Supabase is all in on self-hosting. They've got detailed docs and resources to help you set up and run your own instance, and they offer a ton of flexibility when it comes to deployment environments.
So whether I want to run Supabase on my own servers, in a private cloud, even on edge devices, the option is there.
Exactly. They want to meet you where you are, so to speak.
But let's be honest, self-hosting can be a bit daunting, right? Like, what if I run into trouble? What kind of support does Supabase provide for those who go down the self-hosting path?
Well, their documentation is incredibly thorough, walks you through each step. Plus, their community forum is amazing. You can tap into all this collective knowledge and experience from developers who have already gone through the self-hosting process. You're never truly alone, even when you're self-hosting.
There's that community aspect again. It really feels like more than just using a platform. It's like being part of something bigger.
It really is. And it goes beyond just self-hosting. Supabase has cultivated this whole ecosystem to help developers learn from each other, connect, and contribute to the platform's growth.
This is awesome. So for our listeners who are now totally hooked on Supabase, where should they go to learn more, get involved, and become part of the community?
Their website is a great starting point. All the docs, tutorials, blog posts, links to the forum, and social media are all there. Plus, they host webinars and workshops regularly. Great way to learn from the Supabase team directly and interact with other developers.
And of course, we can't forget the GitHub repo. That's the heart of any open source project. You can explore the source code, make your own contributions, really immerse yourself in the Supabase world.
Contributing to open source is such a rewarding experience. You get to give back, share your skills, and be part of something much bigger than yourself.
Well, folks, we've come to the end of our Supabase deep dive. What a journey it's been. We've explored this platform that's not just changing how we think about back-end development, but also nurturing this vibrant, passionate community of developers.
From that user-friendly database to the robust authentication, the global reach of Supabase storage, and the power of edge functions, it's clear that Supabase is all about making developers' lives easier.
So we encourage you to explore Supabase for yourselves. Dive into those docs, join the community, and see what amazing things you can build. Who knows? You might be the next developer to create something truly extraordinary with Supabase. Until next time, keep on coding and keep diving deep.